Redfall, the highly anticipated game from Arcane Studios, known for their popular titles Dishonored and Deathloop, is still on track to be released on May 2, 2023. Redfall takes place in a world overrun by vampires and cultists, and offers both single and cooperative multiplayer modes. Arcane Studios has been upfront about the gameplay and mechanics of Redfall, acknowledging that it is a departure from the genres they are known for. They have clarified that the game will still embody the studio's style, while incorporating a unique take on a live service looter combat game. During the 3-minute gameplay footage of Redfall, the media outlet showcased the challenging vampiric enemy known as the Rook. However, their attempts to defeat the enemy seemed less than impressive to viewers, resulting in a less than stellar portrayal of the game. There is a silver lining in my opinion, as the gameplay of Redfall features some cool battles against an array or distinct and formidable vampire enemies. The gameplay itself looks fast-paced and requires strategic planning and teamwork, as evidenced in the footage we saw. Furthermore, the killing blows are impressive and satisfying, proving an extra level of enjoyment to the game's combat. The setting of Redfall takes place in the eponymous town of Redfall, Massachusetts, featuring an open-world design that grants players more freedom and space to explore than previous Arcane titles. The studio's talented art designers can let their creativity run wild in crafting an immersive world packed with lore and subtle hints about the town's vampire infestation. The game's main objective is to reclaim the town from the vampire menace, block by block. Players will have to eliminate vampire nests, take down cultist strongholds, and re-establish safe houses and footholds in the town's various neighborhoods. Redfall is breaking the mold of traditional Arcane titles by offering a cooperative multiplayer mode that allows players to team up with up to 3 other players or friends. Each of the 4 playable characters has their own unique skill sets, and it's up to the players to strategically collaborate and discover the best ways and to combat the vampire invasion in Redfall. The game also features a mix of player and non-player characters, and players must work together to cleanse the town of its vampiric threat. While some live service games are plagued with microtransaction stores, Arcane has made a conscious effort to distance Redfall from this model. The development team has eliminated microtransactions entirely and is actively working on a patch to address the need for the game to always be online. Jacob Boyer, with his one eye and companion Ravencrown, combines his old abilities with new powers to become a formidable vampire hunter. He will be a valuable addition to survivors willing to take on the myriad threats in Redfall. Jacob's cloak power allows him to evade enemies by becoming invisible, while his ultimate ability, Heartstopper, summons a ghostly rifle that can lock onto enemies and deal heavy damage upon firing. We were also introduced to the character, Layla Ellison, with her psychic powers, and can create protective shields that will make her an asset to the team. She also has impressive mobility options and can summon a deadly presence to assist her in combat. Then we have Remy and her cool-ass robot Bribin that will help distract nearby enemies taking the blow first. Remy's ultimate ability will be to create a rallying point where you and your allies will be healed over time. Finally, Devender Krausley. Dev's action skills will include crowd control abilities, as well as area of effect damage, including throwing a javelin that shocks enemies to an ultralight AU emitter, stunning enemies for a short duration. Each of the 4 characters in the game have gained their supernatural powers in a unique way. You'll need to master your abilities to use them alongside your teammates of survivors. Players will have a diverse array of weapons to take on both human and non-human foes, and each playable character offers unique advantages and synergies to promote strategic teamwork. Ranged weapons come equipped with a wooden stake bayonet, allowing players to deliver the final blow to their enemies. The game features stealth mechanics that have been successfully implemented in other Arcane titles, providing players with the option to sneak past enemies and position themselves for a surprise attack. While the game has generated significant buzz online, it hasn't been all positive. Everyone is fully aware of the negative reviews of gamers online, many skeptical about the game's potential. The situation was made worse by a recent tweet from Redfall, which announced that the Xbox version of the game would only be available in quality mode, with 30 FPS, and the promised 60 FPS performance mode would be added later. Unfortunately, this is just one example of how Xbox and Bethesda seem to be struggling to coordinate their efforts, while Sony continues to dominate with fewer issues. Most of us value healthy competition between Xbox and Sony for the betterment of the consumer experience, so it's very discouraging to witness these missteps. I'm not sure if delaying the game will matter at this point, although it's the consensus vote by the gaming community. So we ask you to drop a comment. Let us know if the game should be delayed to be released with 60 frames per second.